I'm going to Heathrow.
What time?
I'll be getting there about 10. My flight's at sort of 2ish.
That's a shame.
Why? When are you getting there?
My flight's at 9:30.
Ah, where are you going?
Japan.
Ah, damn shame. Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, that's our one guest for the week.
Glad to see you've chosen your guest, Lenny, based on a week where they aren't at tribal. But, it's all right. I'm sure we can make do.
Well, I just thought it would be interesting to have the
I
perspective
can
of the
leave,
other
Mike.
team.
I can leave if you want. I don't mind.
Is this is the only reason Noel's here is because he's upset about the fact I didn't mention him as being on my team at the wedding the other week?
That was really quite harsh when you were basically slacking off our team, being really shit, and I was like, Mike,
Yeah,
I
sorry,
was
Noel.
there.
To be fair, it was only as I was editing it that I was just like, oh yeah, I probably should mention that Noel was on my team, but you know, it is what it is. I
Yeah,
apologize for that. Noel was on my team, and we competed together, Lenny, in the egg toss event, where thankfully we had a former, I don't know, national level. I don't know what level she played at, but cricket player as one of our egg tossers. Unfortunately, her and Leo were able to bring home the win when myself and Noel valiantly made it to, I would say, like sort of equal third place, I think.
yeah, we did well.
Hmm.
Is
We had a
sorry, is that just
respectable,
tossing an uncracked egg back and forth?
You
but
take a
getting
step
further and
back
further
every time.
apart. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
We got to the point where you couldn't. I think any further you have to go overarm.
Oh wow.
I think we reached a limit of underarm nearly.
Hmm.
But yeah, I
Yeah,
was impressed. We did well.
we gave it a good go, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Notably, Louis Tyler and Tyler Wilson out significantly earlier than myself and Noel.
Same with Big Dog and Isaac.
And Sam Law and Carolina, who many of our season one fans will recognise. I believe the first one's out of the whole thing.
Potentially, potentially, I don't know.
Yeah,
I do
not.
remember. I don't know who it was. Someone that we knew like interfered with someone else, and like I think Jamie like threw his, but not straight, for it to like the pair next to him, and nearly like nearly got the egg landing on Big Dog's mum's shoe. And he had to be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I've just basically launched an egg at you." Don't know what's over. You would have loved it, Lenny.
Yeah, I do
Yeah,
do like a bit of egg toss.
that'd be a good
Right.
survival challenge.
I suspect that we might lack the space to do a challenge such as that unless we go over the house.
Also, not when you're putting a deposit down on a house. I think bringing out the eggs is possibly the worst thing you can do.
Mm.
Surely the next series is at the wedding venue. Just rebook that place.
It was
I'm
quite a nice
sure.
place.
I'm sure it was cheap.
If everyone's willing to contribute upwards of 300 quid, I think we can. I think we can swing it.
Had a big lake. Had beds.
Whereabouts was it?
Was it the Malvern Hills? Is that the
Yeah,
place? Yeah,
Great Malvern area is very. It's quite west, isn't it?
yeah.
West, I understand.
It's very nice, very posh. The main supermarket, the place is the Waitrose.
Oh,
There's no other option.
yeah.
It's just Waitrose.
That's a posh area.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the If You Know You Know podcast. We're on episode 4 of Sorry Southampton season 3. And first of all, we welcome the man who some call amazing, while others call a symbol for truth and justice. Either way, it all adds up to just a guy who rocks. It's Mike Price. Thank you. Cheers, everyone. Thank you. Joining me this week, as per usual, a man who stands by his friends and allies and is willing to tear down others to save them, Lenny Greenfield. And our guest on the podcast this week, a man who knows about surviving tide boats, Ignol Clark, former professional bus driver. All right, how's everyone doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you guys?
So I thought Mike was going to answer.
I very clearly took a drink for all of our listeners out there,
that's
giving
on
Lenny
me.
prime opportunity to jump in.
I'm good. I'm going on holiday tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I am also going to be hopping on a flight tomorrow, but I am very centered and serene, having just returned from my second week of the Newman Holiday Trust, which was another roaring success for
Nice.
another year in a row. So yeah, another great week, great fun. Yeah, met a lot of very inspirational people. Gave some parents some well-deserved respite as well. So yeah, did a lot of fun activities too. So can't really complain too much about that. And excited to chat to you boys today.
Oh, very nice. Very wholesome.
Where are you going tomorrow?
I will be spending a bit of time in Northern Ireland. I'm going to do a little bit of camping.
Nice.
On your own or just?
Yeah. I felt like you could give us a bit more.
I am going with a group of people. Hopefully there'll be some friends in there. Hopefully able to make some friends, and hopefully
Are you
we'll
playing
have a
another
good time.
Survivor game?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
I'm afraid I can't reveal anything at this time.
Fair enough.
But all I'm
It
saying
would
is,
suck getting a flight to then get knocked out in the first round.
all I'm saying is Lenny's going to Japan. Look forward to seeing you there, Lenny.
Lenny's off to dominate Survivor Japan.
We've both been scouted. Big news, guys. I don't know if you saw, a bit of a tangent, but we obviously congratulate Strath and Beth on their engagement.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I did not know about that.
Yeah.
When did this happen?
Oh, didn't you see that? Oh, well, maybe I'm wrong, and I'm going to double check afterwards. But I'm pretty sure. And also, interesting how elegantly timed it was by Strath. I think maybe it was to a consolation prize for Beth after her untimely departure in episode 4.
Where did you see this? This needs confirming, I think, surely. Incredibly funny if it's actually a breakup post.
I didn't think normal people make breakup posts, do they?
What's his real name again?
I don't think it was him. I'm pretty sure she posted.
Oh yeah, they are engaged. Yeah.
Boom. Told you.
Oh yeah.
It's a bit poor of Facebook to not pop that one up on the feed.
Yeah. Also, Tom wearing some very old Skunks kit on holidays. Really bold.
I mean, he's very, very rarely not in that, like the Skunks kit or Strathclyde kit.
Mm.
Is that the fourth Survivor couple to get engaged?
Let's have a think. So we've got Mark and Amy, obviously. We've
Yep.
got Liam and
Lose.
Beth, whose wedding that myself and Noel just tossed at. And we've got Sam and Carolina coming up.
Yep.
Then is it, or is there anyone else we can claim?
I think it's just them.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Sock and Lucy didn't make it that far.
I still have faith.
Got Chris and Divya, they're still going.
Yeah.
Could be a 5, which, considering the amount of people that played, is quite impressive.
Yeah, a very high percentage rate of women to play Survivor Southampton get married
to get married to co-stars / crew.
Yeah.
So yeah, for any of our viewers, if you like to find love, then Survivor Southampton could be the place to find it. And we did see the love. We witnessed it this week with the amount of players sticking up for their allies and standing strong, which I guess we'd get into, which was an excellent segue. But I feel like they've still got more meat on this Strath Beth bone of the two of them getting engaged. What are you guys' reactions to this, having both now found out?
I'm shocked that you're the one that's told me.
Yeah. I'm actually a little bit disgusted that I found out.
You're more in the know.
But I don't know why Facebook hasn't put that like top of the feed.
I guess
When
it's
was
'cause
this posted?
Like
It's,
last
it
week.
happened. It happened about 2 weeks ago. Oh, a week ago.
Don't know how that managed to pass you guys by. I mean, obviously, I say I saw it. Both of them independently messaged me very excitedly. Obviously, a couple of days even before they made the post, just to let me know.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, I think Strath's sister told me that it might be happening when I was at Silverstone this year. That Strath's sister was also at. We don't just have like a weekly catch up.
She just rang it. By the way, it's happening.
Well, there are a lot of things to unpack there. So you were at Silverstone with Strath's sister. Was it the one that
Yeah.
we'd all met?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But Strath was also there, and Beth and Big Dog and Oscar.
When you say Silverstone, do you mean at the
The Grand
Grand
Prix.
Prix? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Big Dog's such a bastard, and I want this on record. I said to him, we need to watch a race together. Not even we need to go anywhere. I said we need to sit down together and watch a race at some point this year. And he was just like, yeah. Oh, yeah, we'll definitely do it at some point before Liam and Beth's wedding, easily. I've had nothing.
Yeah, he's a bloody joke.
I'm convinced he doesn't have any time off. Every time I'm like, oh, do you want to watch this football game? He's like, oh, no, I've got work that day.
He does work like some weeks he'll just be
Yeah.
working nights, and then some weeks he works so early that he'll be sleepy by 8, I guess.
That's the thing. He knows who his allies are going to be for the next season. He doesn't need to hang out with me because I'm not going to be in the game. Clearly, he doesn't
His
want
whole
to,
life just revolves.
I like the idea that Mike thinks all our social connections are purely for potential Survivor seasons. Yeah, I think I saw him for one World Cup game, and that was it. And then, yeah, at the wedding, we should say.
Yeah, because he lives so close to you now as well.
Yeah, he's bought a flat in Eastleigh.
Yeah.
Don't want to reveal where Chris lives, but yeah.
But yeah, if you walk around the town centre, you'll probably run into him.
Yeah. Or if you just sort of snoop around, is it Salisbury Station? Or is it Andover?
Andover, I've heard, but also
Yeah.
I think occasionally.
It's only one station away from me, actually, from where I am now.
All right. Well, thank you both for the very cuttable segment of the podcast.
What, is that not going to make the cut?
We were doing all right until the lengthy train station conversation.
I can't believe there's content that's not good enough to get into this podcast.
Go ahead.
Sorry, how did you feel about Tommy spoiling his boot in the group chat?
And in the comments of YouTube.
I did notice that, but I thought, I watched the Formula One highlights, and I know not to be stupid enough to look at the top comment because it's always just like, can't believe so and so won, or so and so team really blew it this week. So, you got to be careful. You got to be careful there.
I like how you put top comment as if there's more than one.
Well, if you put it on your phone,
Yeah.
it'll probably be the first one to come up.
I'm
Like, obviously, the top comment on all the Formula One videos is the thousands of them. And not to say that by the time this airs, there won't be tens of thousands of comments on specifically episode 2, part either 1 or 2, whichever one you put it on. But yeah, if you're watching this, get in the comments for that episode and see if you can get the comment above Tommy just to get rid of the potential spoiler. But yeah, so obviously, we're 4 episodes in now. I think, interestingly, and well done to Lenny for getting you here, this is the first episode where you're not in my notes at all. But you would have featured a lot in episodes 1, 2, and 3. So is there anything that you want to set the record straight on? Are there any takes we had that you're just like, that's not what happened? Obviously, you've been to Tribal the last 2 times.
Yeah, no, I think it's pretty accurate. Happy. I'm making, good bit of screen time. Always more fun to watch when you're actually in it. Yeah, enjoying it. I was saying to Lenny, it's quite fun. I think the first 2 series, I remembered what happened, but this one, I sort of like the order of what happens and exactly what happens. I kind of have forgotten. So it's quite nice to actually watch it and kind of have an idea of what's going to happen, but also not.
Were you really concerned last episode that it might be you leaving?
I was on the edge of my seat. No, I'm glad that I didn't go out for the blunder of forgetting that Tom isn't going to vote, despite him literally telling me. I'm not going to vote. But still, in all my maths in my head, I kept having him as a number. But it worked out in the end. Bill saw sense.
We did have a question at the time. We'd lined Tate up as our sort of swing vote in the middle. In the end, he plays his shot in the dark, and I did include on the last podcast. I think I included his confessional, which wasn't in the episode, which explains sort of why he did it and where his head was at. It seems like, to be fair, had he voted, he probably would have voted for neither of you. But obviously, it would have then gone to a revote. Do you think he would have sided with you, or do you think he would have sided with Ben?
I think he would have sided with me. I'd like to think so. I think, looking back, I think there's a clip where he told me he's going to use his like shot in the dark, and I was like, oh, I think you're safe. But I think if I remembered Tom's not a number, I probably would have been a bit more like, no, you're good. Please don't. Can you instead back me, please?
And what did you think of Bill trying to stick the knife in you as soon as he got the opportunity?
Just grow some balls, Bill. If you're going to do it, stick to it.
Okay, well, we'll see.
You can't chat this big game. You can't chat this big game. Oh, I'm going to take him down. Take him down. As soon as the revote go, oh no.
Do you know who you thought at the time had voted against you? Well, obviously Ben, but
Ben, Kai. I wasn't sure. I assumed Bill.
yeah,
And then I think afterwards he told me. I think I seem to remember him being like, "Yeah, I switched."
No, how smug would you have been in the last round if Bill had not switched and you'd have gone to rocks and you and Ben would have both been safe and someone else had to draw a rock?
Yeah, pretty smug. I think it's quite hard not to be in that situation. Like, I imagine it's pretty hard for everyone to be gunning for you, and then just suddenly, yeah, fuck you all, I'm safe. Want to use it up instead?
do you think it could have spurred you and Ben into a game of friendship and teamwork?
Probably not. Ever since series 2, he's like refused to ever work with me, and he's just like, no, you're going to turn on me. And there's no real evidence for it, in my opinion. Like, everyone's scared of it, but I think I said it in the episode. I don't do it for fun. I only you're playing an individual game with other people. It is kind of also a team game at the start, I guess. So like the nature of the game is at some point you're going to have to go from working in a team to working for yourself. Like, it's going to happen. I'm obviously, when that happens, going to make sure as much as possible that I'm in a position I like, not someone else.
Yeah, I think it's potentially because you feel no sort of barrier to doing it.
Yeah, that is true. I don't feel a barrier. I just think I can pretty well separate. Oh, this is a weekend game.
Yeah,
I'm still going to be friends with this person afterwards.
yeah, I think it's the right mentality, personally.
Yeah. And I think in season 2, like, him and Holly were like, yeah, we like actively going for me. So it's like, oh, if I know you're going for me, I'm gonna fight back.
Yeah.
Do you really think other people feel like a put off for making a move because they think they're going to upset someone?
I reckon there's a reasonable amount of it. I don't know.
I don't think I'm
feel
particularly cold-blooded in that sense. I just think everyone does it.
Personally, from that second season, it felt like no one was ever going to do it. But
it happened in the end, Lenny.
yeah,
Eventually.
I think everyone was just wanting to work with Big Dog. I think that was the thing. And then you had Sock and Lucy was sort of, they had their own game plan, so it didn't benefit them to upset the apple cart until right towards the end. But then they got shafted before that could happen. I think Holly was a bit nervous until you persuaded her. I think Will and Strath were game, but Will got taken out and Strath had no strategic understanding of the game, but then got taken out anyway. And then Divya did flip in the end. So
Yeah, I think it's a weird situation of maybe people misread their situation in series 2 and they actually thought they were Big Dog's number 2 when they maybe weren't. And I guess if you are convinced you are his number 2, you're not going to flip, right? But if everyone's convinced they're his number 2, only one person's in the right.
but I think from their perspective, I think Divya wasn't willing to turn on Big Dog. I think that's something that she wouldn't have done until she was forced to towards the end. but that was because different circumstances had happened. Isaac was happy riding with them until the top three because he thought he'd win, find immunity, and then take out Big Dog and beat Divya at the end. Sock was kind of in his plan with Lucy, so he was happy to just kind of keep the two of them in as long as possible until they could play their idol. So both of them were locked in. So then it was only really Lenny that had any sort of willingness to want to do anything at that point. Let's jump into episode 4 now. So we get to our challenge straight in. Well, we start with a confessional from Noel, just kind of rehashing what we've sort of already discussed here. Lachlan calls me out during the explanation. I say the explanation had to take place downstairs. And then I later say, oh, so the person runs upstairs, gets the information. Lachlan's just like, actually, I think that exchange needs to take place downstairs, Mike.
when in reality, the exchange could take place anywhere. You could just be lying at the top of the stairs shouting it down because there are no referees on site.
Yeah, we'll get into that. We will get into that because that was some shady behaviour from the Delfino tribe. But we have Maze, we have Thimbles, and we have the Nats.
You're lucky I wasn't outside playing hacky sack because I would have been moaning.
Referee!
I would have been in there complaining, getting it all sorted out. But...
Should we start with the Maze tactics? Is there anything anything perhaps you noticed people doing that wasn't optimal for the Maze?
I think Lenny's team just deciding, oh, we've got 2 green squares. They've got a maze outside, but it must just be connect these 2 dots and not ask any questions. I don't know what happened with your team on that one.
Like, it seemed very baffling at the time, and it still seems quite baffling watching it back. I still couldn't quite work out. It just felt like, why wouldn't you first go in and tell the other person all the information you have
because
on your thing and find out what they had? Like, how could JB come out the challenge and not know that their thing had lines on it?
Correct me if I'm wrong here, Mike. You told us upstairs, like we had, was it 9 mazes? And you were like, downstairs they've got a maze, and with the green dots on to help you figure out which is the correct maze. I think you told us.
I had to be careful not to tell you exactly what the other team knew and didn't know, because that was sort of part of the challenge to figure that out. But I told you guys that the yellow dots on your maze, they also had, and that was important to finding out the correct maze of the 9. I then also told the upstairs people that the downstairs people had the start and finish points.
Yeah. So I think the first thing I said to, I think it was Tate, was tell me where you're, like, had the little thing so you had it the right way around. And then was like, tell me where your yellow dots are on like a coordinate grid, which I kind of thought was in my head. It was like, well, obviously that's the way you do this. Like, but apparently not. Yeah, I was shocked by your team.
But I think we can put a little bit of the blame here onto Beth. And I've done an elaborate percentages of who completely blew the challenges for Lenny's team. But I think we can give Beth a little bit of the blame here because she comes downstairs. First of all, she tells JB the correct orientation, which, you know, if you've been paying attention to season 2, or if you like know anything about how these games work, you should know which way up the map is. So also, like, it's got the letter L on it for your tribe. Like, there's only one orientation for the letter L. So JB's a moron for having it the wrong way around in the first place. Let's just get that. But then Beth, so she tells them the correct orientation. She then says, "What are the yellow? Tell me your yellow dots." But at no point does she ask for the start and finish point. So it's a little bit on her. It's a tiny bit on her. But at no point does JB offer this information. So it's way more on him at this point.
Surely JB goes, oh, here's the start and finish points. Oh, by the way, there's also 2 other points on this maze. Like, what are these about?
Yeah, you can't be connected. You can't just think they're irrelevant points on the. At some point, you've got to.
Also, even without him being told, it's a maze. Surely JB's aware there's going to be walls around this place.
Yes, that one. Very, very baffling.
Especially if they're taking him from the green dot to the green dot. If he thinks there's no walls, does he not just draw a line?
You know what? I laid out the facts of this challenge, so then we can determine who gets the blame here. All right. So number 1, Noel asks Tate for the start and end. Beth doesn't ask JB. That's the first thing. Next thing, Theo tells Beth to connect the yellow dots. Then the next one is Mike corrects JB when JB draws it wrong. I say, no, this is the start and end point. Next one, JB tells Theo it's wrong, still without giving him the coordinates of the start and end points. Next point. Theo tells JB he needs the start and end. Next point. Beth and Theo have switched, meaning JB's coordinates may get confused between the two of them because they might not understand that he's doing it from the top down.
Why were we switching?
Upstairs, I don't know why they switched. I think it was because Beth runs upstairs and goes, "Oh, these are the two yellow coordinates." Theo's been looking at it for a while, and he says, "Oh, okay, it's this maze, right? I now know to go downstairs and tell him the exact route from the yellows."
We've been to tribal twice, so I assume you might have had an extra person upstairs.
Yeah, they did have an extra person, but the extra person I told them was on the symbols. So, at this point, they're sort of doing their own thing.
Referee.
He needs someone upstairs, really.
There was someone up there filming, but I think this is on the tribes.
Not calling out.
It was badly placed. Yeah, your guy should have pulled it out. To be fair, Lenny.
What for? They're the ones that switched though.
Oh yeah, but I mean, there was some serious foul play going on from the Delfinos.
Yeah. What Lizzie was doing should have been called out because that was wild. But anyway, we'll get there. So Theo gives the correct answer to JB, who then goes and does the complete opposite of what Theo told him to draw. Then JB finally realizes that the upstairs people must have walls on their maze. Theo already knows this. I've got this noted down. Theo then realizes JB messed it up and then gives him the exact same thing he told him before, which JB then finally does. If we then look further on, we can discuss how much Oscar and Isaac messed it up.
The maze to me sounds like 80% JB, 10% each to Theo and Beth at best.
You know what? That was exactly the numbers that I had down, Noel, for the maze.
If we're going the whole thing, I feel like at least 50% JB, surely.
Because Beth and Theo didn't tell him stuff, but they were slightly inconsequential and JB maybe could have figured it out. But for JB to not say the start and end coordinates, which only he's got, for him to just put in the wrong directions, not quite Oscar episode 1 level bad, but it's bad.
No, obviously not. So a few other notes before we get a bit further in the challenge. So as soon as, first of all, Delfino starts sending multiple people. So Tate and Big Dog are both getting information from Noel. I noted down it doesn't help. Did you agree with that, Noel?
Yeah, because it would be like, I think I sent Chris, or I sent Tate off to get me some information. I think at one point Big Dog came back and I was like, yeah, okay, cool. That's not what I need. I don't think it actually helped with anything. But.
We cut back and Strath moves the table. Good strategy, bad strategy, Lenny?
Just, I mean, completely pointless, but good fun. Again, no referee on site to stop that kind of antics.
Where were you, Mike? If you weren't upstairs and you weren't downstairs to stop that, and you weren't in the middle to stop Big Dog and Chris and Tate both running, where were you?
He was in the kitchen cooking that roast chicken, I heard.
Yeah, about that. Why was I not aware there was a fire when I was in the house?
Yeah, I've been heavily criticised for the Barris podcast for not asking him about the fire. And I'm going to have to message him because that was my bad. I can't believe we had him on for like an hour and a half and I forgot to bring it up. But I will blame that on Lenny's not telling me who the guests are ahead of time. So it's possible.
You said you wanted investigative
journalism.
You told me you wanted surprises.
And I will happily be the one to get in touch with him if I can.
No, I can get in touch with Sorensen.
Yeah, Jeffy, you got that
Big Dog.
Yeah, that's a big right there.
I'm a busy man at the moment, so I thought I'd get people in quick for the past 2 episodes who I know would say yes.
Do you reckon you can get a random Japanese person to watch Survivor and then bring him on?
I think that is a long shot. I'll ask around at the conference.
I think not just the conference, maybe put up some posters.
Yeah, just everywhere I'm staying, just ask the receptionist.
Yeah, get a bit of everyone. Yeah, I'll tell you what, next week is going to be spicy because I've got basically a day to sort of edit quite a lot of the next episode. All of the strategy and then stitching the whole thing together. So if there's ever a week where we might end up skipping one, it'll be next week. But I'll do my best to get it done in time.
Yeah.
Basically, it's the next 2 episodes that require stuff. Episodes 7 and 8 are basically done. But it's the next 2 where I'm obviously quite busy next week. So we'll have to see.
But feel free to bring a special co-host
That's when you bring
Yeah, I will.
Sorensen in.
I'll ask him every week.
Yeah, I mean,
But
you
yeah,
can just
yeah.
start asking people at random as well and start surprising me. I don't mind if we end up having 6 people in here.
I made a lot of connections at the wedding, so any more? Oh, I might try and get Lil Dog on at some point.
I thought there's some great people at the wedding who could play.
Who did you think could have been?
Firstly, I just think Tyler and Louis would be good fun.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Easy.
think if you get Nathan into it, I can see him being a lot of fun.
Oh God, he
Like
really would be.
him really getting into the strategy and really getting into it, I think it'd be a lot of fun to watch. Lil Dog, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. Goes without saying.
Oh, Juba, the girl you were chatting to about Cyber for an hour at the Stag and Hen do,
Oh yeah.
which I want to point out, Lenny, he genuinely, me and Ollie are in the hot tub just watching, and Mike is just talking to this girl, and we're thinking, oh, that poor girl, clearly he's onto Survivor, like, she's clearly thinking, oh, I need to go to bed, like, can I please go? But like, also, like, we're looking around, and like, it's not like he stood in the doorway and she's inside, like, she's free to leave, whenever she wants. Anyway, after about an hour, they go off their own way, and then Mike comes in the hot tub and went, oh yeah, and Mike's, oh no, yeah, she was really into it, and both me and Ollie are like, yeah, no, she wasn't actually that into Survivor, she was just being nice. Clearly, he's gone to bed thinking, thank God he's out of the way. Nope. 2 minutes later, she's back out in the hot tub, absolutely not put off at all. But then did very quickly mention her boyfriend, and me and Ollie felt very bad for Mike.
Oh no. It wasn't like that, Noel. I wasn't. I tell you what, if I was dropping game, I probably would have held back on the Survivor stuff. Let's put it that way. I wasn't there for that. I was just there. I was there for the love of Survivor. I believe she raised the subject. So
Yeah, so clearly she wants to play.
all right, we'll stick her down on the list.
I just thought there's so many people you could ask that, if they were free, would come.
Oh God.
I did really enjoy. I saw a clip of series 1, I think when the first episode of this one came out, and it's the bit where it just suddenly becomes nighttime because Mike's told us it's going to be like a 4-hour event, and at like 11 p.m. we're all still there. Like, when can we leave?
It's only because we had to start at like 12:30 because like Slaw ran like
Sorensen had
a
a
marathon in the morning. Yeah, and Sorensen was eating a lasagna.
I will say, watching it with Emily, she was shocked when I said how many rounds there were, and she was like, "How have you, one, how have we fit it all into 2 days, and two, why are people agreeing to do this for a full weekend?"
It's just a bit of fun. It really is just funny.
But also, you look at the time in episode 1, and it is surprisingly late in the day to still be on episode 1.
The blindfold challenge is fun, but it does take time to
especially when you've
people
got
move around.
the people we had on it.
I actually really enjoyed just watching people like stand still when they're blindfolded and just don't know what to do. Like Isaac's just like hands by his side, just like turned off. It's just funny.
Watching back Isaac and Jar just being the wrong way round, not knowing how to fix that is really fantastic.
How much has Emily seen? How many series? Or just this one?
Just episode 1, and she watched episode 4 with me today.
So she's not even done 2 and 3.
No, she seems interested, but I'm not going to deny the opportunity to watch episode 4.
I assume she's saving it for the flight.
Download.
You got it all downloaded, yeah.
Download all of series 2. It's got 13 hours. Either that, or you can do about 6 of the podcasts.
Let's finish off the immunity challenge. So
We've not even got past the maze.
we just got past the maze. So JB's finally done. So you and Tate do it pretty quickly. No, you guys are fine. You at least figure out how the thing works. You understand it. Then Bill starts off with Lizzie. At this point, we can now talk about what a big fat cheat Lizzie is in this challenge. I think about 3/4 of the stuff she does is kind of okay. Like if you go sort of down the first flight of stairs, all right, it's kind of a cheat, but you're at least having to memorize the things that they say before running up to look back at it. It was more when she was just reading out the sequence that Bill had to go and put in the correct order. That was the bit that was cheating, because obviously the idea is she's supposed to memorize a few of them, go downstairs, tell him, maybe make a mistake. It's difficult to memorize these symbols, got to run upstairs, got to check, do all that. So that bit was just blatant cheating. The only reasons why I'm not more irritated by this is that, first of all, the Purple Tribe was so far ahead, they probably would have won anyway.
Yeah.
But second of all, there's a bit that I cut out where I tell Bill, when Bill is right, I tell him that he's wrong. And that wastes quite a lot of time before I realised, oh no, he is right. So
of course you cut that out.
So that evened it up a little bit.
But to be fair, in defence of Lizzie, if no one's going to call you out on cheating, why would you not carry on doing it?
You toe the line until you get told off.
I'm not going to. I wouldn't self-police myself on rules if there's no ref there, no one to stop you. I would have been down there showing Bill the sheet.
Yeah, but Mike gets annoyed by this. He claims I'm someone who's actually trying to break his games, but all I'm doing is just not abiding to the rules that he's not explained to me yet. So I don't know the rules yet.
So I mean, fair play, but what the hell are the Greens doing upstairs to just let that happen?
Yeah, Carol, Theo, Beth, and Oscar really let you down on that one.
Like when Oscar's awkwardly shuffling past Lizzie, who's like on the third step from the top, shouting down, like, and he's making his way to the bottom. Like, why are you not calling that out?
No, but you weirdly don't recognise the team. Like there were times where I was talking to Tate, I think like through Theo, and I was like, "Oh, that's weird." Does that not? But in the moment, you don't even notice it. You're just so locked in.
You think? I feel like I'm always focused on the other team more than. I mean, maybe that's because I'm yet to really do anything in the challenges, apart from Kabaddi. The three other challenges, I sort of do just stand around and complain.
Yeah,
it's great to do that for 3 challenges, and then people in the episode like Isaac say, "Well, you're not going to get rid of Lenny for the challenges." So I've done nothing.
I like it. Isaac's an NPC for 3.5 episodes, then comes in with just a wrong call.
Oh no, Isaac saved Lenny in episode 1. He could have turned on him, and we'll get to it a bit later. But I've got a lot of feedback for Isaac based on how he played this deadlock. I thought it was some very interesting stuff from Isaac's side. Speaking
this
of
episode,
Isaac,
but episode 2 and 3, and most of episode 1, you forget he's there.
I mean, to be fair, episode 2 and 3 doesn't go to tribal, so we don't have to worry too much about him.
Episode 3, though, I did notice that his trousers make his bum look absolutely massive.
All right, so for anyone on the watch back, double check Isaac probably in the Kabaddi challenge, presumably. That's where you're going to be looking. Okay.
When he moves in, I'm going to be asking to try them on.
Okay, all right.
Is it the trousers or is it the ass inside them? Only one way to find out.
Well, this may contribute to our opinions on that, because I noticed that he described a forward slash with 2 perpendicular lines across it like a dumbbell.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he described that to Oscar.
So yeah, well, I don't know if that message was received by Oscar or not. Yep. So I tell Bill that they are wrong when they're right, which does cost them time, but they were cheating anyway, so it evened out. That's what I've got in my notes. Oscar has bad strategy. So Oscar later says that his strategy was to find out the symbols that weren't in Isaac's sequence to then rule them out. But he doesn't know that Isaac doesn't have all of the 10 symbols, which therefore means that the strategy is completely useless. So
it seems like a weird way to go about it anyway.
Yeah. I really like this challenge. And I think you also did it in one of the earlier ones. No, in the first reward one, in that everyone actually just assumes they've got all the information. Like everyone assumed in that first challenge, it's just a star. No one thought to actually look, there's 2 types of stars. This
other than Isaac. Isaac knew at that time.
That's true. And then this one, everyone upstairs assumed, I've got the complete list of what they've got. It was only until like halfway through that Lizzie realised, Bill's not got 2 from his correct list. And if at the start they go, what do you have? I've got 6 tiles. I've got a list of 8. you'd realise it, but everyone's just assumed they've got complete information,
Yeah,
and that's what like sends people wrong.
Probably everyone's too eager to
Yeah,
go in and not actually. I feel like the strategy would be to go in and just actually say all the information you actually know.
but yeah, not even like what tile. Like on my table, I have got 6 squares with symbols on,
Yeah,
and then when Lizzie goes, "Oh, I've got a list of 8." Well, it's very clear that 2 on that list you're not going to have. But like you said, everyone just rushes into it thinking, "Shit, I've got to get these symbols."
And I also noticed that as soon as Lizzie realised that there was some discrepancy, the immediate instinct is just to blame me. So
yeah. But I mean,
just
to be fair, if you saw the challenge last season,
well, that was only because a piece of paper had blown off the table for that one. There's, that's just a crazy accident. It's
a crazy
that's
accident with small pieces of paper in the wind outside.
that's
Who
just
could have
the
seen that one
surviving
coming?
gods.
How could one possibly foresee?
But yeah, I like the challenge. It was good.
So Oscar has bad strategy. Bill and Lizzie solve theirs. Drath and Lizzie solve theirs. And then Lenny, why don't you talk us through the maths strategy for well, both teams?
Well, yeah. How it worked is we had a list of numbers downstairs, and then the person would go upstairs and they'd have a list of like, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. And they'd have to, so we'd have to communicate the numbers and they'd have to work out the overall sum. But both Oscar and Kai looked at the numbers downstairs as they were going up and just memorized them, and then did the maths by themselves upstairs so they could just communicate a number, which great cheating. Great hacking of the challenge.
It's not cheating. It's just clever.
Yeah, it's just smart. It's just a shame that your team did it as well.
Yeah. Also, what was the final answer, Mike? Was it 1?
-1.
That is quite guessable.
I guess maybe.
But I mean, if you are working with all the numbers, it probably still isn't the easiest to guess.
No, but I guess, yeah, maybe. Retract.
I wouldn't think negatives for a while if I was just guessing.
You're a positive man.
I don't think. I wouldn't think that Mike's crazy enough to just pick a number like that.
I thought you were gonna. What you did think that Mike knew negative numbers existed?
Yeah, did think I was capable of imagining a negative number.
Yeah.
Thought that was just me and my maths degree.
To be fair, I think I did rip that challenge exactly how it was from season 18. So I think that's a survivor like order of operations and numbers. So okay. I just took it exactly from the show, that one. But yeah, I think very smart from Kai and from Oscar to independently do that. Would be interesting to know if Oscar also got -1 for that, but maybe we'll never know.
Considering Oscar's performances in the challenge so far, I'd say probably not.
Yeah, I suspect not. So Delfino win. Noel, what's the feeling having been this close to going at the last vote? Were you feeling kind of secure at this point, or were you just happy to not have to vote?
I don't remember thinking much about the next tribal council until you're in it. And on the first day, it was very much like, okay, cool. See how the challenge goes. I think because people get into the rut of the challenge has to affect who we vote for a bit. So I don't tend to think about it as much, even though I don't think that should be how people vote. If you want to like actually maximize your chances, I don't think it helps really.
Yeah.
Unless you are like an absolute beast at challenge, which I get why you'd like push it. But
yeah, but also it is just like a good excuse to vote for someone you actually want off.
It's really easy to be like the Tommy situation was like, well, I don't know Tommy, I've not spoken to him. He's kind of someone who I'm not working with, but also in that challenge did nothing. So it's like, well, that's just a great reason to push.
And like the same as the episode with JB, like I don't really have anything going with him. He's pissing me off because he's taking 10 minutes to do every confessional. So it's just a reason to convince people to vote him out.
Do you reckon he's got the worst stats for confessional time taken to record versus time on air?
Well, he does get a lot of airtime. His confessionals are good.
Yeah, but he records so long.
I mean, I was annoyed to almost Sorensen levels of being annoyed, I think.
Was it that bad?
By his confessionals. I think, I don't know. I think if you watch me whenever I'm in like a group with JB, I am getting more and more like, especially in this episode, I can barely look at the guy.
It's just a game, Lenny. Calm down.
It's the time wasting when you're just waiting around for something that's so simple. I was fuming.
It's gone.
Head was gone.
To JB's credit, though, he was giving me a lot of great stuff in the confessionals. It's just that they were very long, so it was you got to cut a lot of it out just because you can't include a 3.5 minute diatribe in every episode.
Is there anyone that's not had a confessional appear yet?
No, I think everyone's been fairly well represented.
And has everyone, obviously not me, had their intro video done? Or are we still waiting for you?
So I think episode 4 was the last time I was introducing the new ones. Lachlan's I never bothered to include because he just exactly parroted back the one that I gave to him. Theo's one was quite good, but I couldn't include it because for some reason it made my laptop crash every time, strangely. You never sent me one
virus on his confessional
either. And I think that's it. And everyone else has had, Zhao we never had one from, I don't think either. But everyone else, so all the remaining 13 players, I think it's been in by now.
Yeah, fair play to Carol, by the way.
Just in a lake.
No mess with that. It's brilliant.
I also liked that there was just no mention of why he's in the lake. It was just perfectly normal audio. Suddenly cuts to Carol with very noisy water. He's just in a lake.
So I will be looking in the lead up to season 4 to do mine in the most ridiculous place possible now.
I think I'll be going to Mount Everest.
Or maybe like at a concert or something. I think Zhao did a season 2 one on the way back from like the Isle of Wight social. It was like while everyone was walking up to Southampton. So fair play there. I think Archie did his from one of the pubs on the Isle of Wight social.
Nice.
No, obviously we find out at the end of the episode that the tribe's going to be switching next episode. So if Delphino had gone to tribal council again, who do you think would have gone?
I probably would have tried to push for Kai. I don't know who would have gone. I completely forgot there was a tribe switch. That took me by surprise. I have no recollection of that happening at all. And then just watching it, I was like, oh.
Well, I'm very excited to see who you're going to end up with then.
So I've got no idea who I end up with. This is completely... I've already reached the max of my memory now. This is all new for me. I'm so shocked. But yeah, I think probably Kai.
So we get to the strategy section for this round, and first of all, everyone is slating JB. Speaking of my final percentages on who's to blame for the challenge. So I think Oscar did contribute.
Yeah.
So what I did, I kept Beth and Theo at 10% each. Oscar I put at 20, and JB was at 60%. So that was my final.
What was sure you said Isaac wasn't great at doing something. He did something wrong. What did he do wrong?
I don't think Isaac was to blame at all. Like people were accusing him of walking slowly and looking like he wasn't trying, but he was only walking slowly was because he was constantly waiting for information from Oscar.
Yeah.
Can I just say, so your percentages for the first bit, 10, 10 and 80?
Yep.
But then if you're going to shrink JB's portion, you have to shrink the other two, obviously.
No. So I want to acknowledge that they both did cock up a little bit.
Yeah, but they...
Otherwise we're going to 7 for Beth, 8 for Theo, 54 for JB. Like, come on.
Yeah, but
Lenny's getting stressed.
No. But it's just ridiculous because now you've given them... They've gone from
Referee!
10% of the blame for that first part, and now they're more than 10% of blame for that first part because you've shrunk the overall. Surely you understand that they've gone up to now what, 12.5% of the blame for that.
I think the amount Oscar messed up diminishes JB percentage and JB's percentage only.
That's ridiculous.
No, because Oscar. Oh no, ignore.
That's insane.
Well, either way, they say
I'm actually fuming about that.
Well, I mean, frisbee never lies and rocks never lie. So according to the surviving gods, it's actually Beth that takes the blame for the challenge. So everyone is saying it's JB. Then JB is pushing maybe Theo or Oscar. Then Lenny, you're chatting with Oscar and Theo, and you propose a 4-person alliance.
Yeah. Well, I thought that they're a pair. Me and Oscar are a pair, and well, if you have the most numbers, then it's just happy days, isn't it? So I don't know. I just felt like Carol would be into that. Like it just seemed logical to me because it's not you're not trying to get a whole group together. You're just trying to join two pairs together. It seems way easier.
Lenny, you then tell Oscar that he is your ride or die, and you
Yeah.
discuss the bank of votes with him, but only half explain it, such things.
Well, you can't give them everything.
You can't give Oscar too much information because he'll clearly fumble it at some point. You give him what he needs. It's a need to know basis.
Yeah, I think I gave him enough information, but there's no point going into the details, really. Do you think? Or would you be telling them all the terms and conditions if you were in my position?
Tom told me all the terms, I think.
But do you want to take strategical advice from Tom?
No, I very much don't take strategical advice from Tom.
Well, you know,
Do I?
he's still in the game, so
Yeah,
That's
but
why it's very hard when people's like those two are clearly working together. Because I'm thinking, God, it really does mean I have to work with him. Which, like, nice guy, but you're always just a little bit worried you're gonna have a plan. He's just gonna go. He's either gonna, for fun, not do it, or think he's doing the plan, but just not do it.
okay. But later on in the strategy session, Lenny, we see Beth having a chat to Theo, and it looks like she's about to push a big name, potentially yours, but then you walk up. What did you think of this?
clutch timing from me. You know, Beth keeps floating out my name. I feel like, so to be honest, good to see the back of her.
I like the comedic camera angle change.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
I'm glad we do that. We do the same thing with JB later on.
Yeah, I think you guys just stay down there. But yeah, so Lenny, you, Theo, and Beth discuss the idols and advantages.
I think I was trying to, you know, without saying that I have an advantage, say that I don't have an idol and I have an advantage. But maybe I should have just come clean. I don't know. I don't think I handled it particularly well.
I don't know if coming clean helps you though. I guess because you then have to explain what your advantage is, right?
Yeah, but it
And
feels like
like,
they're clearly hinting at the fact that they know the person from the challenge who's got that advantage, and they think it's an idol. And I don't quite know whether to.
I guess your only benefit is you go, oh, it's a banker vote. I'm going to be saving my votes, and then
Yeah,
like hope that in either that round or another round they think they've got the numbers, but you then vote to ruin it for them. I kind of think with a lot of advantages, it's better to keep it under wraps.
yeah. I mean, I
So I don't know
agree.
why you'd want that out there.
But yeah, I wanted them not thinking I had an idol. So maybe I should have just made up an advantage and told them I had that instead.
I would have liked it if I think Beth at one point goes, "Oh, she passed you the parchment, right?"
Yeah.
I would like to if you went, "No, you didn't. I didn't get that." Just put it on her that she's got the idol instead.
If only I had the guts to do that.
Really play some aggressive survivor and just
What's like a good sort of advantage, but not really a very good advantage that you can have pretended you have to make it seem less powerful?
Like there's some of the ones in the recent series of Survivor, I feel like.
I don't know what advantages there are. There's banker vote and stealer vote. What else we had in Survivor Southampton? It's just
Oh,
them, right?
a vote blocker is a really shit advantage where at one point you can stop someone from voting at a single tribal council because that's like way worse than a stealer vote. Because the stealer vote, then you also get an extra vote.
Yeah, because a stealer
That's
vote it can swing. A stealer vote can if you're like down by one, you can flip it so you're up by one. But a blocker just goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, we're now tied."
Yeah.
Yeah, a blocker I think might be the worst advantage that you get in that way, maybe.
But also next series, don't trust anyone that says they've got a blocker vote.
Or maybe like an advantage in a future immunity challenge. Like that's pretty shit.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. A clue to
or you
something.
I mean, it's hard to think in the moment, but I got a clue to an idol. It was this. I've not found it.
Yeah, yeah. If I
But
could
then
make up riddles on the
yeah,
spot,
but then you've got to make up what the clue is. And
Well, you tried to do that in season 2, Noel.
did I?
You did.
Didn't work.
I don't think it was very convincing. I think it's because you were accused, this is in the tribe stage, you were accused of having found something. I don't know if it was before or after you actually found an idol, but I believe you said the riddle was something along the lines of ring and I'll let you in. And you were claiming that you looked at the doorbell and it wasn't there. Because Max Verline said, well, ring and I'll let you in. That's at the fucking doorbell.
Clearly, I just had down to the first rhyme that came to my head.
look, I definitely heard rumours about a doorbell and checked it out myself. Yeah.
I've actually got really weird feelings that the rumor came back to me, and I might have then
Surely
checked
you
the
won't.
doorbell. I've got a really weird memory that I might have done that. You kind of forget about the little lies you've told people in the game because you're like, oh, it's a little inconsequential lie to get me out of a like not even sticky situation, but then you just forget.
So, but Theo doesn't really trust you still, then he doesn't,
Yeah.
yeah, he doesn't believe you, really. So we cut back to JB. JB wants the threats out, but he's saying it's Oscar and I don't know, either Isaac or Lachlan, whoever was stood over there, and they're sort of like, yeah, well, maybe. Do we think that JB is deliberately trying to draw votes onto himself because he knows he's playing an idol?
I never got that vibe.
No, I didn't really get that vibe.
Also, surely if you're doing that, that goes in a confessional that you're going to include.
Yeah.
Like,
If you're filming confessionals for 10 minutes and you've not mentioned that, then surely.
you've done him really dirty if he's made a really good move to get votes on himself. If you've then not included that in the edit, that's harsh.
Yeah, but then surely I'm going to want to have the surprise moment of him playing the idol and blocking all of the votes. Like, I'm not going to
Yeah,
want
but
to include it.
you put the confessional in at some point after.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you what, if it did happen, and I can't remember because I haven't watched back the confessional recently because I edited that a bit a while ago. If that was the case, I'll put it in at the start of the next episode so we'll figure it out. And you know what?
I think
Maybe I'll put it in here and then we can know the truth because I've got a feeling that he was trying to draw the votes onto himself.
I am somewhat untouchable at the moment. I'm packing 2 immunity idols. 2. Because I got a pre-game one. And I also found one just now in a wind chime. So I'm feeling pretty good on that angle. I'm going to play one this round. Because I think the blame definitely comes down to me this round. It's either me, Beth, or Theo. I think I kind of mentioned 2 different names around, so I think I'm on inside the this round. So I'm just going to play it to be safe.
I think
What
he
made you
read the
think he was?
situation very well, to be fair.
Like, I think there's no doubt in his head that, like, people weren't buying what he was putting down, right? He was suggesting other stuff, and I think he knew, yeah, they're saying yes to my face, but I don't trust they're actually saying yes and meaning it. But what makes you think, what was your suggestion that he was, like, purposely putting his name, getting votes?
I think that he was very conscious of the fact that he wasn't integrated that well strategically. There are a few people that he was sort of okay with socially, but not many people. And he knew he was going to get blamed for the challenge. And then he's the one that votes for Oscar. So he's clearly trying to push a big threat because like no one had been saying Oscar's name that round really at all. Because like, otherwise he would have just voted for Theo and then Theo would have gone out there. But the reason it was a tie was because JB put Oscar's name in it.
I'm trying to think. There was definitely a bit, I seem to remember where Beth, Theo, maybe it was JB, were like, oh, we want to go for a big name, but there was a reason someone suggested not going for Lenny, and that's why they landed on Oscar. Have I made that up?
What, in this round or a different round?
This round, I feel like.
I don't think Oscar's name was thrown out at all this round.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know
said
why
I was
this
good at
round.
the challenges at one point.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Oh yeah, because the final vote is just 1-on-1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Lachlan.
So, well, speaking of Lachlan, so we go to Tribal Council. Lenny, you say you're still trying to make amends with Theo. Did you think
Yeah.
that was worth it, or was it? Should you have just cut your losses and taken them out?
No, I did believe in the Theo, Carol, Lenny, Oscar. It was a genuine mistake that I kicked Theo out of that first one. I was look, watching back, so annoyed that I did that because it was so needless, and it was a genuine error from my point. There was nothing malicious in it at all.
The first opportunity both Greenfields had to like cross them on, they did. You'd agreed with him. We're not going to eliminate you. Eliminated him. Lizzie was like, "Yeah, Tommy will have an alliance." Eliminates him.
Okay, so we're at tribal council now, and Lachlan announces to everyone that it's his second tribal council, so that's very exciting.
Yeah, good
for
move.
Lachlan. But
He's
he
on
then
the
says
council.
he's not really aligned with anyone.
Yeah, you were really into asking people who they're aligned with at this council. I think you asked basically the same question 3 times in a row, with slightly different wording.
I think I was basically saying, well, if these 3 names are out there, then who do you want to keep in the game?
Yeah, you asked me who I want to keep in the game.
And you were like, oh, everyone. And I was like, whatever.
Yeah, obviously. And then I said that bullshit about Theo just to give you some sort of answer, even though, because I'm not just going to say, my ally is Oscar. I want to keep Oscar in the game.
Yeah, I always think like you can
Like-
tell Mike's asking a question like wanting to lead somewhere. But I'm sometimes like, well, I'm not going to tell everyone what my plan is because, like, I don't know. Sometimes I think, Mike, you've got to be a bit more direct with the questions and be like, actually,
I don't want to force people to show their hands, especially at this tribal council. It would be unfair to force people to say, I'm voting for JB, because then that, give them an unnecessary tip off. Also, I'm always having to throw a question at Lenny that gives him the opportunity to give an answer in the third person if he needs to as well. So then that's difficult. That is a good question, actually, Lenny. Why in this episode do you choose to cast a vote rather than bank it?
Actually don't know, because it seems like the ideal opportunity to bank a vote. Obviously, it works out for me in the end because Oscar goes out if I do bank my vote. But yeah, I can't. I doubt I was worried about an idol or anything. Like, I don't really understand it.
inconsequential blunder.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if anything, a very good blunder.
Yeah.
Like, it's benefited me massively. So I'm sort of, well done me.
Yeah, I mean, it saved your closest ally, or definitely your closest ally after this episode. So before we go to vote, JB says that he wants to work with the Greens because they're the only players that he knows. Is this a good pitch?
Like, if he doesn't have the idol, it's a little too late, isn't it? Like, sure, it's a good pitch, but I'd probably make it a few episodes ago.
Okay, right, a reasonable pitch.
In the strategy round, so they're going around going, maybe a big name, maybe we should all work. Well, I guess in that situation you can't because you are voting for someone off.
But yeah, I guess in this instance we'll give JB the benefit of the doubt, assuming that he's aware that the votes are going on him and he's trying not to be too charismatic and persuasive.
I mean, I think he did do very well to read it and actually play his idol properly.
Oh, I was really hoping that he'd go home with 2 hours in his pocket. I'll be real with you.
I mean, it's what everyone wants to see watching. I always want whoever has an idol to go out without being able to use it.
I was really hoping he'd be like, yeah, I've had a discussion with Beth. We're going to go for a big name. I feel confident. I'm going to take the risk. I'm not going to use one of my 2 idols I've got on me. And then to go home with 2 would be legendary.
I think that would guarantee him a spot back at any future season he wants to leave with 2 idols. Got a lot of respect for that. So JB stands up and plays an idol because we have a monumental camera cock up. We don't get to see everyone's reactions. But Lenny, you expecting this in any way from JB?
No. And I'm thinking, oh shit, at that point, because I think I'm probably quite convinced that everyone's voted JB, which means at that point you're thinking, I really could be gone here. It's all down to the will of this one man that I've really not given anything to for 4 rounds in a row. So I'm probably thinking there's a good chance I'm out here.
So then, obviously, 6 votes for JB, not counted. Then we get a Theo vote, and we get an Oscar vote. So
Tell you what, Theo must have shat himself.
Yeah, I think you can tell with surprise that there's a second vote not on JB.
Like, when you're the first non-JB name, you must be thinking,
that's been done.
Obviously, we find out later that this is Lachlan being responsible for the Theo vote. What do we think of this?
I mean, sure. It seems I can't really pin down what he's doing, but it's led to a great episode. So
Did he give any reasoning for the vote?
I believe he said that he felt bad that everyone was saying it was JB's fault, so he thought he'd go for Theo.
let's not forget Theo's a tall, athletic player, big game player.
Big game player.
I really enjoyed him. I really enjoy how like Lachlan is seemingly clueless, but is playing it so like wholesomely. Like, oh, I feel really bad for JB, so I'm going to put a vote on someone else, and like it has this big effect.
But I mean, he does vote for Theo on the revote as well. So, he also saved Oscar, who's evidently his ally based off
I
of,
mean,
based off of
it's a miracle Oscar stays in.
Yeah,
Between me not banking my vote and Lachlan just randomly deciding to vote for Theo.
Yeah, true. And obviously his blunders in episode 1 whilst he is immune as well.
Lucky boy.
Okay, so
that's
we get to a
less luck
3-3.
though, because he was put in that situation in episode 1 because he was immune.
Yeah. I stand by that decision.
Yeah.
So we get to a 3-3 tie, and that's because Carol has voted for Oscar. Makes sense. Good. I think smart play from Carol. If Theo's his number one, vote Oscar there. JB clearly wanted Oscar out anyway, so fine as well. Lenny's vote makes sense. Oscar's the one he wants to work with. Lachlan doubles down, votes for Theo again. What do we think of Lachlan's decision here to vote Theo twice?
Yeah, I think Lachlan, to me, seems closer to being with Lenny and Oscar than he does to Beth or the like non-returning player half.
Okay, all right, makes a bit more sense. So then we'll have a brief discussion about who remains, Beth and Isaac. So what do we think for Beth choosing to side with Carol and Theo and JB here? Do we think this was a smart move, or do we think maybe she should have split and gone with the other side?
No, I think it's smart.
I mean,
because,
hindsight, it's a shit move because it's what got her eliminated. But
well, yeah, but
like
at the same time, like I feel like she's got something there
Yeah.
at least with JB, and like
'cause it does pay off.
to be in
If
with
Oscar-
that crowd.
If Oscar goes and there's then not a tribe switch, like I do kind of think it is then you three are picked off unless you can convince someone to.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, okay, so good play from Beth, and Isaac sticks with returning players and Lachlan. What do we think about Isaac's decision here?
Again, I think that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he went the other way, but he just seems more close to me and Oscar.
So now we get to the first ever deadlock of Survivor Southampton history. So I think this is a very interesting to see how the different players play this. So I then just open it up. It's a tie between Oscar and Theo. They're not allowed to say anything. Everyone else then has to convince 3 other people to switch to their side. So Lenny, you're the first person to speak here, and you ask if there's anyone who would switch sides, at which point Lachlan and JB both say that they would. They happily would. Is this a good way to sort of open up the conversation?
Well, I mean, if no one's going to switch, then we can just end the conversation straight away.
I just think it's good because Lenny's not revealing what he's saying. He's literally just asking for information, right? The crazy bit for me is that JB said he would be willing to switch.
Yeah, so JB nods. I think it's probably because he knew Theo was coming for him anyway. So even though he wanted the big threat of Oscar out, he probably thought, I don't mind one of them's going. It's sort of okay.
But is it not a
he
chance
does
for him
hold all
to
the
try and
power.
get the JB in my head is the only one that can say, I'm not switching, I'm not going home. If you guys want to guarantee you're safe, you vote Oscar off.
Yeah, so that's what I'm explaining to him at the time. I'm saying because obviously he cannot draw a rock because he's played his idol. So I tell him that he can hold out should he want to do so. He does nod when then he says, does anyone want to switch? But I think the decision, based on what else was said later, he didn't have to make that call. So he didn't have to have any sort of social repercussions of the decision because he never was forced to make it.
I don't think there is any repercussions for him making it because he's already at the bottom of that tribe in the fact that he was literally bar his idol, he's gone by a big sway, right? and you're saying like Theo's maybe going for him. Surely, if JB is actually putting his stall out saying, "I want to keep Theo," that's in my interest. Surely that's more likely to get Theo on his side.
Yeah, I think
And
JB needs to call his shot here.
Yeah.
So then at least one of them that remains will know that he's working with him, because he's clearly got no allies and he's just had 6 votes against it.
Because
it's also
Theo can't betray him after he does something like that. No. Really.
It's also interesting that in the tribal council bit, Mike was like, "Who are you all working with?" and no one said anything. But by the end of this, it's very clear what the half of the tribe is, right? It's really obvious who's working with who because you've had the split.
Yeah.
So I kind of think JB has to make the move. I think it also means down the line, Lenny can't claim he's been the one to hold out for Oscar, like as like a thing that Lenny did to be like trustworthy. Because Lenny basically filled a vacuum as well, no one's talking. I'm going to come across as a really trustworthy, good guy, and I'm going to back my mate. But if JB puts his stall out, it actually stops Lenny having that play.
Yeah, I think that's a very good analysis. So Lenny then comes in and says that he'd rather draw rocks than switch, which immediately takes the option of Oscar leaving fully off the table for everyone. Are we happy with that? We think that's great, or is there any possible reason that we can argue against that?
No, I think for Lenny it's right, because if you've been off Oscar, he's got Lachlan and Isaac, who at this point would have switched as well, and are probably scrambling, thinking, "Shit, we're in the minority." And the other 4 are like just dominant. So I get why. I think from Lenny's point of view, it's the right thing to do.
And also, I'm talking about believing in Lenny, Carol, Theo, Oscar. Like, this is also the only way to keep that together.
What, by voting off Theo?
Well, it wouldn't be. I mean, in the way it ends, like I'll vote off Theo, and then one Carol's on his own, a bit weaker. We've still got Oscar, like Isaac, hanging around. But a deadlock sort of suits me, Oscar, Carol, and Theo best.
But I don't know. I think from my perspective, you're sort of forced to cut bait on the Carol Theo thing here, because either you have to throw Theo to the wolves and then try and rein it back in later, being like, "Oh yeah, but I was trying to force the deadlock." In which case, there's a 40% chance either you or Carol leave in that spot anyway. So then, at the very least, you convince everyone to vote off Theo, where you save Oscar. But then there's no way Carol's going to want to work with you after that, surely.
I think,
although in that situation, he would have.
But if Carol did kick off Theo, then clearly he's not that allied with him anyway, so he's probably still up for grabs.
I think it probably cuts off the Carol Theo situation, but it does make it really easy for them to be like, "Well, like, if I'm working with you, I'm going to work with you and going to back you."
Yeah.
I think it's a really hard sell if it goes to deadlock. It was a really hard sell to back to Theo. Yeah, sorry, I was going to throw him under the bus because I think it's better for all of us as a forward. Right, I think that's a really hard sell for him to then buy.
Yeah, that probably is true. But also, if I vote out Oscar, what do I actually gain? I gain nothing.
Yeah, I think you're right to force the deadlock.
Okay, so Lenny does that. The only issue with that is that if you show your hand straight away, then it's harder for you to convince people later on. But you definitely, if you were to sort of pull people in one by one, it's a very sort of abrasive way to do it. And, we can argue whether Carol would have ever flipped, but it might have been easier to sort of act as though you were also unsure and slowly sort of trying to convince people, which I think Isaac is the person that then does that. So Isaac at no point ever says who he voted for, which I think was quite a smart thing to do. And he kind of suggests that, well, if Lenny isn't going to switch, then we either all have to vote alongside him against Theo, or one of us is going out. So I think Isaac plays this very well, because so at this point, Lachlan then admits to voting for Theo and tries to campaign for Theo to lead. Isaac, at which point, stays neutral but backs up Lenny. And one thing that I didn't notice until I watched it back just now is Beth turns to Theo and says, "I'm sorry, Theo, I don't mind you being the sacrificial lamb." So she also would have flipped, which just leaves us with Carol.
Yeah.
What do we think of Carol here?
It's very noble, I guess. But yeah, I think it's tough. I think he definitely, I think that was more like to flip than Lenny was. I definitely think Carol was considering it, being like, "Well, hang on a minute." Because I think he'd earlier in that episode said, "Oh yeah, we've agreed. We'll get through to day 2. And then after that, anything's fair game, right?" So he was maybe thinking, well, if I'm going to do it eventually, do I do it now and save myself from this potential thing? But I agree with you. I like how Isaac kept neutral. There's no way of him there's no way of anyone actually pinning who he was voting for.
Carroll, I think he was pretty happy riding with Theo. I think he was probably sort of hedging his bets to Lenny. He didn't want to. I think when Lenny was sort of trying to bait it out of him, he was probably thinking, Lenny's trying to get me to say this so that he can then use it against me, not realizing Lenny just wanted an easy four-person alliance to get through that group of it. But it is very difficult under the weight of everyone else on your tribe saying, look, mate, just split and we'll be okay, to still stand up and be like, I'm just going to stick with it and take the risk. Do we think Carroll's likely to get more blowback for this rock draw than Lenny based off the way that it went down?
The way it went down, I don't think anyone's, like, no offense to Beth, no one's in an alliance, like an actual set firm alliance with her yet. I don't think. No one's game's been blown up by Beth going yet. I don't think. So I think he is luckily kind of safe. Like, I think if he causes, like, Lenny to go, I can get then Isaac and Lachlan and Oscar going for him. Or if this causes, well, if it caused him to go, Theo would be annoyed at it, but Theo can't be annoyed at someone that's gone. So yeah, I think it's a relatively safe option in terms of no blowback.
And like, it's a great way to get someone on side, though, isn't it? As well, like
I stuck by you.
Like I know it's a 1 in 5, but you know we were on like a 1 in 6 for JB voting us out anyway.
Yeah, it's also weird. Like, I think in the game like I said, it's only a 1 in 5 chance, but when you're in that moment, you only view it as a 50-50 of, I'm either going to draw it or I'm not going to draw it. You don't really think, I've got a 1 in 5 chance. I think.
Oh, I was thinking I'd be safe on rocks, to be honest.
Really?
I was fully thinking it's not actually that risky to, like, sure, I could go out, but 80% chance I'd stay.
Yeah, but even so, Lenny, you did get very lucky, and it's your side ended up winning the day. And had you not ended up, like, were you not going into a swap the next episode that you weren't aware of, your side probably would have ended up running that tribe. But on your side, you had Isaac, you, and Lachlan drawing rocks, whereas on the other side, it was only Carol and Beth. So someone from your side, numbers-wise, should have been eliminated there. So you should have been shafted, but you got a bit jamming.
We get a bit lucky, but at the same time, like, I still think I win in this situation as opposed to voting out Oscar.
I'm upset we didn't see this tribe then continue, because I think it's the first time we've had it where it's very obvious where the divide in the tribe is in the Southampton one. Everyone tends to play pretty like, I don't want to reveal my cards, and tribal councils can be a bit like Mike's asking a question, but no one's going to give the answer because no one wants to reveal where they're playing at.
Yeah,
it would have been quite fun to see it play out, being like, well, actually, everyone now knows where they are. Like,
we know these two are a pair. We know these two are a pair.
And everyone in the tribe knows it. Like,
that
would have been quite interesting.
If you went to the next tribal council, Lenny, are all the votes landing on JB again?
I genuinely don't know. I think it would be the easy thing for everyone to do, and it could, reunite a slightly divided tribe from that one by just ganging up on JB and then JB playing another idol and then Oscar actually going this time.
Or it's another Oscar Theo tiebreak.
And it would have been great to see the exact same thing happen again.
My guess is that it would have been JB, Carol, and Theo, and then you, Oscar, and then Lachlan and Isaac are kind of being fought for.
Yeah.
And I think there's a good chance Isaac goes, now's a good chance to get rid of one of them. He's played it neutral enough that I think the other team would happily have him and wouldn't question him.
We're probably a fairly big target, me and Oscar, being an established pair of people that have played twice before. Like, I think that was more something we were probably trying to keep under wraps. But in the situation for me, I was also thinking, what a great chance to restore a ruined reputation. After all this time, it'd be great to prove that I'm actually a loyal man.
We will have to move on to our final few segments of the podcast just to ensure that we were able to get in, get on, get out on time.
We would have had more time, but Mike was 14 minutes late, I think.
Mike was sorting out a flight checking in.
For 14 minutes?
I was doing that, then I had to make sure that the audio for this would work. And then
You'd
I don't
ask
think
why not do that at 4:45?
I did. That's when I started doing it.
Or 3 p.m.
That was when I
Yeah.
started watching the episode.
It just would be great. I think it would be great one week to receive the link at 2 minutes before we're meant to start.
Yeah, well, sometimes I'm making pages and pages of notes about the episode. Let's eulogize Beth because what do we think? Did she just get terribly unfortunate? Was there anything she could have done? Like, did she make a mistake here by ending up in the tiebreaker? Should she have stood up and like made some bold claim in the deadlock? Should she have fought for everyone to agree?
The only way she makes it through is by be willing to switch and everyone else switching, but that's not guaranteed. Like, there isn't really a clear like winning path out for her, because even if she does switch, she's then at the mercy of Lenny's power in the tribe.
Literally done nothing wrong.
Yeah,
No one's thrown out her name. No one wants to vote wrong.
no, yeah,
But could have drawn the rocks better, I guess.
Well, if she gets to a swap, then there's a good chance she ends up with Strath. So then maybe the two of them are sort of insulated a bit better. Strath's obviously got one vote
no.
back and maybe a couple
I
of allies.
refuse to believe that Strath isn't going to try and vote better. Therefore,
Yeah.
I refuse to believe. I could just see it now. But I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm going to try with Strath," and he'd be like, "Yeah, let's just do Beth." And it just,
Well, maybe this is the reason why they are now engaged, because luckily the gods of the world were like, let's get Beth out so that Strath can't completely ruin
The most
it by
personal
voting her off.
council of all time.
Yeah, maybe Strath dodged a bullet on that one then by Beth leaving not at his hand. Yeah, I think Beth a very solid showing. Obviously, unable to do much against what happened. Both tribal councils. The first tribal council, she was brought out by Noel and Lizzie, so unable to cast a vote there. Second tribal council rocked out of the game, and yeah, I think a big loss for the season. Obviously, she could come back in redemption, which is the only way that Sock is still going to be able to have correctly picked a winner. So I can't help but be a little bit smug about that one. But obviously, rooting for Beth to get back in the game, because I think she was my second place pick. So I'm also kind of wanting her to get back in as well. I think very sad to have lost her at this point. Let's go through some quotes. There's a few this episode, so I'll just run through them. You guys have to say who said them. Who said, "I'm never nervous"?
Lenny.
Lenny got a guess.
Oh, it was Big Dog. It was Big Dog.
It was Big Dog during the challenge. Who said,
"Oh yeah,
Lenny, let's not stoop to lows and move the table, mate"?
Strath."
That
Not
one was
Strath.
that was Tate.
Oh.
Who gave us our episode title of "I've Got a Black Heart"?
That'll be Isaac or Bill. Bill.
No, it was actually Strath.
Oh.
It was referring to one of the symbols in the challenge, of course. Who
Ah.
said, "What's the rush? He's not here yet. No need to raise my heart rate."
Isaac.
That was Isaac. Who said he was absolutely useless?
Was that me about JP?
It was. Who said the strategy was right, the challenge was wrong?
Was that JB?
It was JB summarising Oscar's points. Who said, "I think we're all allies together"?
JP?
I believe it was Lachlan actually at Tribal Council.
Yeah.
And who said, "What? You snake"?
Carol.
Someone said it to me, right? Or
It was said to Lenny in the deadlock discussion when Lenny said he would not change his vote.
was it Lachlan?
That was said by Lachlan. Okay, so we'll move on to the next segment entitled Lenny's Loser, where Lenny chooses the biggest fumble for the week. And who are your nominations this week, Lenny?
Actually, I'm going to immediately nominate Lachlan for calling me a snake after revealing that he would definitely switch up on the person he's voting for.
Okay.
Zero
Alright, any
loyalty
others?
there. I think it has to go to someone in that challenge, probably JB, for doing that whole challenge, and then at Tribal Council asking whether the rest of the people had lines on their maze.
All right, any other nominees for this week?
I feel like it was a pretty good week.
Surely Mike for not refereeing the challenge.
Oh yeah, Mike obviously for not assigning anyone to watch the main action area.
And getting the numbers just so easily memorable.
I didn't
Double
even
blunder.
consider that, but I thought it was well played by Kai and presumably Oscar. Okay, so who are we going to say? Lachlan, JB, or me?
I think it's got to be JB. It
All
was a
right.
terrible performance.
JB, but this could be a historic week because we now
But a
move on
good,
to MVP, and everyone gets to nominate one person for who they think the MVP of the episode is.
yeah. I'm immediately nominating JB.
Okay, we all have to nominate someone different just for the sake of the game. For the
Yeah,
episode.
but it's clearly JB, isn't it? So I was going to pick someone.
You
Maybe
can
Lenny.
pick JB if you want, and then
Maybe Lenny for getting in with the like. I'm not going to move first.
Yeah, the hero player.
Yeah, I'm happy with that, and I will then I'll throw Isaac in there for I thought attempting to be a good mediator whilst obviously having a heavily vested interest in one of the sides winning out. But I thought he played it quite nicely, as if he were in the middle when obviously he was not. Does anyone want to put their thumb on the scale as to who they think deserves the MVP award? I'll happily say JB for correctly playing
Yeah,
Idol,
JB.
saving himself.
Yeah.
All right, good job, JB. No fan corner this week, unfortunately, but hopefully we'll be back with that in the future. Do we have any other normal segments? I guess we'll just go to Lenny's teaser.
Oh yeah. Well, as we've discussed a little bit, the tribe swap happening next episode. I think it just adds very interesting dynamics into the game, especially where there's some very well established pairs on our tribe now. Will they be together? Will they be separated? What will that mean for their games? Could be that they're easy targets, but it could be if they end up on the same tribe that they could be very strong. So I guess you have to check out the episode because I don't know who ends up on what tribe.
All right, fingers crossed. I mean, are you two hoping to be together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Noel, did you have any final thoughts on anything from the first 4 episodes going in?
No, I was going to mention I enjoyed Isaac intimidating. I think it was Theo in the strategy. He just sort of rocked up and then like
I think it was Carol.
walked around him, sort of surrounding him. It made me laugh.
I noticed that as well at the time. I thought it was well done.
I also think we didn't mention there's one great shot in the challenge where you can see the table and then you can see through the window me, Big Dog, and Bill just playing hacky sack in the garden.
That's everything we've got for this week. So thank you for Noel for joining us this week. Lenny, I understand you may be on a bit of a hiatus, so maybe we'll see you soon. Maybe not, but I'm sure we'll catch you.
It'll be horrible to see the viewing figures spike in the next few weeks after this one.
Yeah, well, obviously we'll root for both of your shared longevity in the game. But all right, well,
thank you.
Catch you guys in the next episode.
Enjoy your first boot, Mike.
Yep, will do.
I'll be praying on your downfall for my entire 14-hour flight tomorrow.